Okay, so number 5 is a word problem. Now this has to do with linear functions, so that's the applications of linear functions. Now in the section where this problem comes from, there's other ones that I did in the lecture that you also want to be aware of. I talked about the truck rental problem. Another one I did was the depreciation, where you have a brand new machine and 10 years later it's worth something else and you have to set up 2 points, you have a line go through those. Those two are some other variations that you want to make sure you know how to do. So the problem that I have at number 5 may not necessarily be one like this where you have to deal with profit and revenue and things like that. It might be some of the other ones that I've talked about in lecture. So make sure you go over the other problems in lecture and know those as well, because any of those I could give you for number 5 on the actual test. So let's go into this one. Now before you jump into this one, you have to understand a couple definitions. So first of all, I'm going to put that underneath here. Profit equals revenue minus cost, and also revenue equals price times quantity. Okay, so these are two formulas that you have to know for this particular problem. Now again, the actual problem on the test may or may not involve this, but this particular one does. So we're going to use these formulas in order to come up with our equations. Let's do the cost equation first, because that's the first line it says here. So it says we have some fixed costs of 500,000, and then we have 140 to manufacture each unit. So if I want to come up with a cost equation, that's going to be 500,000 plus 140x. It says they want us to use x as the number of units sold. So 140 manufacture each unit, so that's why we have an x there for that one. That's your cost. Next, let's come up with a revenue. Okay, so your revenue is equal to price times quantity. Now the price, you're looking for how much they're selling it for. So it says each is sold for $300. So I have 300 price, the quantity we already said was equal to x. So there's our two equations. Now what we have to do is set up the profit one. The profit one, we use this right here, so I'll erase this to get some room. And so we have your profit is equal to your revenue minus the cost. So in this case, P of x is equal to your 300x, that's your revenue, minus this whole thing, 500,000 plus 140x. We're subtracting the entire expression. Okay, so then we just need to add like terms together. I have 300x, I'm subtracting these two, so both these are going to get a negative. So 300 minus the 140, that means I get a 160x. 300 minus 140. Then I have minus 500,000. Okay, so this is going to be our final answer for the whole problem, this right here. 160x minus 500,000. Remember, make sure we use the correct variables for what's given in the problem itself. It says they want you to call the profit equation P. We have that as a function of, in terms of units sold x, or as a function of means we have P of x, and we have this as the rest of it. That would be your final answer.